In this tutorial, I will show you an easy texturing method that you can use to evenly apply textures to any objects without using UV mapping. And I will also have a free download to this Blender file on my Gumroad and Patreon with the link in the description if you'd like to download this Blender file with the textures. Now, this texturing method doesn't work well for textures that are using a specific pattern, for instance like floor tiles or maybe a brick wall or something like that. But this method of texturing works super well for more organic and random textures which can be seamed randomly together. So things like dirt or rock or ground or concrete or other more organic textures. So in Blender's user preferences, I've turned on the Add Mesh Extra Objects add-on. I can press Shift-A and I'm going to go right here to Mesh and I can add this rock generator. And I actually have a specific tutorial on how to use this rock generator. So if you'd like to check out that tutorial, I'll have the link in the description. So now that I have my rock objects, I'm going to select a rock and I'm going to hop over here to the shader editor. So I'm just going to click on new and I'll just rename this material to rock. Now in Blender's user preferences, I have also turned on the Node Wrangler add-on. So with the Node Wrangler enabled, I'm going to select the principled shader and then I can press Ctrl-Shift-T. And then I'm just going to go to my rock textures. So these are some free rock textures from Ambient CG. I'll have a link in the description to these textures if you'd like to download them and use the same ones that I'm using. So I'm going to select the roughness, the normal, and the color, and then I'm going to click on Principled Texture Setup, and it's automatically going to set up all the textures for us. And I also have a specific tutorial on how to properly set up texture maps. If you'd like to check out that tutorial, again, link is in the description. Now, normally when you're setting up textures on objects, they use the UV mapping of the object. If I press the Tab key to go into edit mode, I can press the A key to select all of the geometry, and then I can press U, and just to show you, I'm going to do the Smart UV Project, and then I will just click on OK. Now, if I look at these rock textures, you can see there are some seams here. You can see there's some seams in the textures, and also in some areas like right here, there is a bit of stretching on the texture. Now, of course, I could do a better job UV unwrapping these textures, but instead I'm going to show you how to evenly place the texture on the object without using any UVs. So what you're going to do is on the texture coordinate, you are going to use the object instead. So we're going to take the object and we're going to put that into the mapping. And then on each one of these textures, we want to take the flat here on the projection and we want to change this to box. And make sure you do that for all the textures. So the flat goes to box, and also here on the normal, the flat goes to box. So now you can see that the textures are very evenly being placed all around the object. Now, if you look closely on the textures, you can see some seams here and there. So to fix this, I can take this blend value, and as I turn up the blend value, you can see that it is blending the textures together where the seams are. And just to be able to see this better, again, I'm going to Control Shift and select the base color. So you can see right there, there's the seam, but as I turn up the blend value, it is blending those together. Now, I find that a blend value of 0.2 works pretty good, and then it is important to change the blend value to the same number on all of the different textures, and that way all the textures will align up together. So on the roughness here, I will turn the blend value to 0.2, and then also right here on the normal, I will turn the blend value to 0.2. So I can now Control Shift and select the principled shader to preview it, and now the seams are very hard to notice. You can't really see any seams. Now, because we're not using any UV mapping, we can't scale the UVs to change the size of the texture. So to change the size of the texture, we can use the mapping node. Click right here on the scale value, and then I can drag down, and then I can drag back and forth. And you can now see that it's changing the size of the texture. And you can also see kind of on the sides of the rock, you can kind of see where the seams are blending, but because we have the blend value turned up, you're not able to see the seams. And what's so cool about this texturing method is it will adapt to pretty much any object shape. So I'm just going to select this rock and I'm going to press the Tab key to go into edit mode. So now I can just select these vertices and I can move them around, and you can see that the rock texture is actually adapting to the object shape. So even if I stretch out this rock and make it really long, the texture looks great from all sides, there isn't any stretching, and I can't even see any seams. So that's it for this tutorial, so I hope you found this helpful, and thank you for watching. And if you'd like to help support me and this channel, checking out my Gumroad store and Patreon page and the YouTube memberships are all great ways to help support me and this channel. But I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.